Welcome back to the channel where rare coins, shocking values, and mind-blowing discoveries turn everyday pocket change into million-dollar mysteries. Today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing numismatic legends ever uncovered, the 1984 D1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has sent shockwaves through collectors, dealers, and treasure hunters worldwide because of its incredible, almost unbelievable value, rumored and estimated at an eye-watering $61 million thanks to a combination of rare minting errors, production mistakes, and unique historical circumstances that have set it apart as one of the most valuable coins in American history. And in this gripping journey we'll uncover how a tiny copper-plated zinc disc from Denver became a cultural icon of value, rarity, and mystery, pushing the boundaries of what we think a penny could ever be worth. Starting with the fundamental understanding of how such coins come into being, minted during the height of the Reagan era, a period when the United States Mint was undergoing transition and challenges in material composition, die usage, and striking processes, with millions of coins rolling out each day and quality control often stretched to its limits, especially in the Denver Mint, which was known for high-volume output but occasionally fell victim to production anomalies that would later become gold mines for collectors. And the 1984 D1 cent is a perfect embodiment of such a phenomenon, because what makes this coin especially fascinating is the number and variety of errors it carries, ranging from double dies and off-center strikes to severe die cracks, plating blisters, and rare transitional elements, one of the most captivating being the double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile appears with a ghost-like echo effect, making his eye, beard, and lettering seem as though they are shifting before your very eyes, a type of error that collectors chase obsessively. But what takes it further is that in some 1984 D examples, this doubling is not limited to the face but also affects the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, which appear warped and doubled under magnification, suggesting a major die misalignment that somehow slipped past quality assurance and went into circulation. And while that alone could boost the coin's value into 5 or 6 figures, the presence of other concurrent errors such as off-center strikes, some up to 30% off-center while still showing a full date and mint mark, amplify their rarity and desirability exponentially. And let's not forget the plating issues, which were notoriously common in mid-1980s cents due to the switch from solid bronze to copper-plated zinc in 1982, with many 1984 D specimens showing significant blistering, peeling, and exposed zinc rot due to improper bonding during the plating process, resulting in coins that look battle-worn but are prized exactly for those scars. And in certain rare cases, these coins even show what is known as floating roof or no FG errors on the reverse, tiny details missing from the Lincoln Memorial design that occur when dies are overpolished or improperly engraved, erasing designer Frank Gasparo's initials or causing the roof of the memorial to appear detached or partially vanished. And if that wasn't enough, rumors persist in the collector world that a few 1984 D cents were struck on bronze planchets left over from pre-1982 inventory, meaning they are heavier, have a slightly different color tone, and ring differently when dropped, a nearly impossible situation that nonetheless aligns with real documented examples from other years like 1983 and 1982, where such transitional errors were confirmed and fetched tens of thousands of dollars at auction, making the possibility of a bronze 1984 D cent tantalizing for those with keen eyes and precision scales. And when you begin stacking all these rare attributes, doubled dies, off-center strikes, plating anomalies, die cracks that run like lightning across Lincoln's face or through the date, detached designer initials, potential planchet errors, and minting on leftover bronze blanks, you create a unicorn of American coinage that is not just a historical artifact but a true financial treasure. And this is where the numismatic world converges into a frenzy, with elite collectors, museum curators, and private investors willing to pay astronomical figures for verified specimens with multiple errors, pristine provenance, and authenticated grading, some of which have reportedly exchanged hands in private deals north of $1 million per coin, with experts speculating that the most complete and error-rich version of the 1984 D1 cent might be worth as much as $61 million in theoretical or insurance value due to its cultural significance, irreplaceability, and potential to draw massive attention at global auctions. And this isn't just speculation. Coin shows, numismatic expos, and online marketplaces are flooded with conversations, forums, and photos of 1984 D cents displaying wild and unbelievable characteristics, from massive die cuts that make Lincoln's head appear swollen or fractured, to strike-through errors where foreign objects like grease or debris became embedded in the coin during minting, creating phantom shapes and voids that further raise eyebrows and auction paddles. And when you add to this the human fascination with pennies, America's most iconic yet underestimated coin, you get the perfect storm of folklore, financial value, and mystery that captivates not only seasoned numismatists but also ordinary people checking their change jars with newfound curiosity, hoping to spot that elusive 1984 D cent with a tiny d under the date and some visual oddity that might change their life forever. And let's not forget that coins like this represent more than just monetary value. They are time capsules that carry the mistakes, stories, and quirks of an entire minting year. Reflecting everything from rushed production to aging equipment to human oversight, each flaw a fingerprint of its origin and a key to its identity in the pantheon of rare collectibles, and with the number of such coins likely to dwindle over time, due to damage, corrosion, or being lost forever, the value of remaining specimens can only increase as demand outpaces supply in a world where collectors are becoming more educated, more connected, and more willing to pay a premium for perfection or peculiarity. And so if you ever come across a 1984 D 1-cent coin, look closer, examine Lincoln's eye for doubling, inspect the roof of the memorial for floating gaps, feel for texture inconsistencies, measure its weight to test for bronze composition, and magnify every millimeter of its surface for any sign of errors that could launch it from pocket change into the spotlight of numismatic fame. Because buried in the most ordinary-looking coin may be a jackpot of legendary proportions, a $61 million marvel of minting mishaps, a once-in-a-generation relic hiding in plain sight, and whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the story of the 1984 D penny is a shining reminder that in the world of coins, nothing should be overlooked, because anything, no matter how small, worn, or tarnished, could hold a secret worth millions. So if you found this journey into coin collecting treasure as thrilling as we did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story of everyday objects with extraordinary value. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be the one that changes everything. Next. Today we bring you one of the most astonishing and mind-boggling tales from the world of numismatics, the story of the 1989 1-cent coin, a penny that may look like every other copper-plated zinc coin in circulation, but in rare cases, this small disc of metal can be worth an astronomical $38 million due to a perfect storm of minting errors, rare variations, manufacturing defects, historical transitions, and numismatic oddities that have created an almost mythical status around this otherwise overlooked coin. And as we dive into the story behind this remarkable coin, you'll learn why collectors, dealers, investors, and coin hunters have been obsessed with locating specimens of this particular year, searching through rolls of pennies and forgotten jars in hopes of finding one of the few 1989 1-cent coins that defies all odds and carries the combination of flaws that make it one of the most valuable coins in American history. And it all begins with the basic facts of the 1989 penny. Produced in enormous quantities at multiple mints across the United States, including the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with a composition of copper-plated zinc that had become standard since 1982 when the U.S. Mint transitioned away from solid bronze in order to save on costs. And although this material change seemed simple on the surface, it introduced a whole new set of challenges and complications in the minting process, especially in terms of plating consistency, planchet quality, and die wear. And these issues began to manifest across multiple years, including 1989, but in that year specifically, several unique and spectacular error types emerged that now define the most valuable versions of the coin, and the most notable of these is the famous double die obverse error, where Abraham Lincoln's portrait shows signs of duplication, often visible in the eye, ear, or neck area, and in extreme cases, entire portions of the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date appear to have been stamped twice, slightly offset, creating a ghostly echo effect that signals a major die alignment failure. And while double dies are not completely unheard of in U.S. coinage, the rarity and visual clarity of the 1989 double die obverse is what sets it apart. And this error, when found in pristine condition and authenticated by professional grading services, can fetch staggering prices at auction. But that's just one of the possibilities that make this coin so desirable, because there are also instances of off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly aligned with the dies during minting, resulting in coins that are visibly lopsided, with a crescent-shaped blank area where the design is missing. And when such off-center strikes still include a full or partial date and mint mark, they become incredibly valuable to error collectors, especially when combined with other anomalies. And in 1989, due to the high-speed production and aging machinery, there were many reports of die cracks, die chips, and cuds, raised areas where parts of the die broke off, leaving behind swollen, deformed, or extra metal areas on the coin's surface, which are highly sought after when large or unusual in placement, and some 1989 cents have exhibited die cracks so severe that they appear as deep lines cutting across Lincoln's face or the reverse of the coin, resembling scars or lightning bolts, adding to the visual appeal and error classification of the coin. And in addition to physical minting flaws, another factor that boosts the value of rare 1989 pennies is the presence of transitional errors and planchet mistakes, such as coins accidentally struck on bronze planchets left over from pre-1982 inventory, which are heavier and darker in color than typical 1989 copper-plated zinc cents, and these coins, when found, are among the rarest in existence, with a few documented cases of 1983 and 1989 bronze planchet strikes being sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars due to their exceptional rarity, and experts believe that a handful of 1989 bronze cents may still be in circulation or hidden in private collections, waiting to be discovered, and these coins are usually distinguishable by their weight, 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, and must be confirmed by precise measurement and expert analysis. But even more intriguing are the coins that show signs of multiple striking errors simultaneously, such as doubled dies, off center strikes, and planchet flaws all in one coin, and in extremely rare cases, 1989 pennies have been found with strike-through errors, where foreign material like grease, thread, or even metal fragments obstructed the die during striking, creating indentations or missing design elements that further increase the coin's uniqueness and market value. And there are reports of coins missing entire design elements such as Lincoln's jacket lines, portions of the Lincoln Memorial, or even letters in the inscriptions, due to die polishing or obstruction, and these floating design elements, such as a floating roof on the Lincoln Memorial or missing FG initials of the designer Frank Gasparo, are all part of the fascinating catalog of errors that make the 1989 penny such a hotspot for collectors, and some coins have plating issues so severe that the copper layer is peeling away to expose the zinc core beneath, or even bubbling up in blister-like formations due to poor adhesion, all of which are considered valuable error types when preserved in good condition. And on top of all that, there's the mystery of a few alleged specimens struck on foreign planchets intended for other countries' coins, which results in size, weight, and coloration anomalies that make these coins stand out even more. And while extremely rare and difficult to authenticate, such coins are known to exist for various U.S. denominations and years, with some 1989 cents exhibiting these characteristics currently under study by advanced numismatists. And when you take all these possibilities, doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuds, strike-throughs, transitional planchets, plating errors, missing elements, and foreign planchet strikes, and you add in factors like coin condition, provenance, and grading, you can begin to understand how a simple-looking penny from 1989 could carry a valuation of $38 million, because in the world of numismatics, rarity combined with demand and historical context can drive values to staggering levels, especially when only a handful of such error-laden coins exist in high mint state condition, and collectors are willing to compete fiercely to obtain them, bidding into the millions to secure a piece of history that may never be replicated. And these coins are more than just metal, they are relics of the minting process gone awry, miniature artifacts that tell the story of mechanical failure, human error, and the unpredictable beauty of imperfection. And with the constant advancement of technology and improvements in quality control, such errors are becoming rarer and rarer, making older error coins like the 1989 penny even more desirable with each passing year. And while many people toss these coins aside without a second thought, the truth is that any 1989 penny in your possession could be worth examining closely under magnification and weighing on a precision scale, because you never know when a seemingly normal coin will reveal itself to be one of the rarest and most valuable in existence. And the thrill of the hunt, the chance of striking it rich, and the joy of uncovering a piece of minting history are what keep collectors inspired and hopeful. And as more coins are discovered and cataloged, and as more people become aware of these possibilities, the market for rare error coins continues to grow, pushing prices even higher and solidifying the legacy of coins like the 1989 1 cent as legendary artifacts of American coinage. And if you ever find a penny that looks strange, feels heavy, or seems off in any way, don't dismiss it, because it might just be a $38 million treasure in disguise, waiting to be discovered by someone with the curiosity and knowledge to see its true value. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, and want to hear more incredible stories about coins that turned into fortunes, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on Notifications so you never miss an opportunity to learn about the hidden wealth that might be lying in your very own change jar. Last, we're diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in numismatic history, the 1988 1-cent coin, a small copper-plated zinc penny that, in rare and extraordinary instances, is not just a piece of monetary history but a rare and valuable era-laden marvel that could be worth up to an astounding $25 million, and as incredible as that might sound, the reality behind its value lies in the fascinating world of minting mistakes, striking anomalies, transitional planchet errors, and a unique confluence of factors that have caused a select few of these coins to command life-changing amounts on the open market, in private auctions, and among the highest tiers of collectors. And in this full deep dive, you'll discover exactly how the 1988 1-cent went from ordinary to legendary, why collectors obsess over its anomalies, and what you need to look for to determine if the penny sitting unnoticed in your change jar could be one of the most valuable coins ever struck in the modern era. Because when it comes to the 1988 penny, the truth is that most are common, forgettable, and worth exactly 1 cent, but an elite few, possibly as few as a handful, bear specific, rare, and valuable errors that push their value into the millions, starting with the most famous of all, the 1988 reverse of 1989 transitional error, a type of design mistake caused when the U.S. Mint mistakenly used the reverse die intended for the following year, 1989, on coins minted in 1988, resulting in a subtle but critical variation involving the designer's initials on the reverse side of the Lincoln Memorial, with the FG initials of Frank Gasparo either being too far from the base of the memorial or exhibiting the spacing, shape, and placement associated with the 1989 design. And this error is so rare and precise that it requires expert verification and authentication from professional coin grading services, yet when confirmed, these coins have brought 5- and 6-figure sums from collectors eager to own a transitional mistake that bridges two minting eras. And that's just the beginning of what makes the 1988 1-center Southwest fascinating, because beyond the transitional reverse, there are examples of 1988 pennies struck with double die obverse errors, where Lincoln's portrait, the date, and inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust appear doubled or ghosted due to die misalignment during the striking process, creating a powerful visual error that collectors treasure for its uniqueness and historical significance. And in extreme cases, this doubling is dramatic enough to be visible to the naked eye, making these coins highly desirable, especially in mint state condition. And there are also off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned on the striking press, resulting in coins that are partially blank, showing the design shifted far to one side, sometimes with up to 30 or 40% off-center while still displaying the full date and mint mark, an extremely desirable combination that boosts rarity and market value significantly. And when these off-center strikes are combined with other errors like doubled dies or transitional reverses, the value multiplies even more, creating coins that have sold at auction for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what takes the 1988 penny into truly legendary status is the presence of planchet anomalies, particularly those related to the ongoing transition from bronze to copper-plated zinc that began in 1982. As by 1988 all official production should have been on copper-plated zinc planchets weighing approximately 2.5 grams, yet there are rumors and unconfirmed sightings of 1988 pennies struck on leftover bronze planchets from pre-1982 production, which would weigh about 3.11 grams and have a subtly different color, tone, and metallic resonance. And if such coins are ever confirmed and authenticated, they would rank among the rarest transitional errors in modern American coinage, potentially worth millions to collectors and institutions seeking to preserve minting history. And even among standard zinc planchets, plating issues plague the 1988 penny, with numerous examples showing bubbling, peeling, and blistering due to poor adhesion of the copper layer to the zinc core, resulting in coins that are scarred, flaky, or partially exposed. And these surface errors, though once overlooked, have become increasingly collectible due to their visual appeal and the clear evidence they offer of production flaws. And some 1988 cents even show strike-through errors, where foreign objects such as grease, thread, or fragments of other materials became lodged between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving bizarre indentations, missing elements, or ghost-like impressions on the finished coin. And these strike-throughs can be highly valuable depending on their size, location, and clarity. And when combined with other errors, they create multi-million-dollar super rarities. And there are also dramatic die cracks and cuds, raised, swollen areas on the coin's surface where the die broke during production, resulting in coins that appear deformed, swollen, or split by massive lines of metal displacement. And these errors, though often random, are deeply prized by collectors for their dramatic appearance and the insight they offer into the minting process. And some 1988 pennies have been found with massive retained cuds that cover portions of Lincoln's head or the reverse lettering, creating one-of-a-kind coins that command immense premiums. And let's not forget the subtle but crucial errors such as the floating roof on the Lincoln Memorial, where the top of the building appears to be hovering above the pillars due to overpolishing of the die, or missing designer initials, where the FG is completely or partially absent from the coin due to die wear or polishing. And while these may seem like small anomalies, in combination with other major errors, they become highly significant and add to the overall value. And then there are tales, backed by some photographic evidence, of 1988 1-cent coins struck on foreign planchets, including steel or aluminum blanks intended for coins of other nations, resulting in extremely light or magnetic coins that differ wildly from standard US cents. And while rare, these minting oddities can occur during times of shared minting facilities or accidental cross-feed of materials, and any verified 1988 penny struck on a foreign planchet would be considered an extreme rarity worth potentially millions depending on condition and provenance. And with all these errors and possibilities, it's no wonder that the 1988 1-cent coin has earned its reputation as a sleeper legend in the world of coin collecting. And as more and more collectors enter the market and competition for rare varieties heats up, the price of authenticated, rare error 1988 pennies continues to skyrocket, with private collectors, museums, and numismatic investors all vying for the opportunity to own one of these miraculous mistake coins. And it's important to understand that condition is everything, as coins in uncirculated or mint state condition with full luster, sharp detail, and minimal wear will always command higher premiums than circulated examples. And when these pristine coins also include dramatic errors, they become candidates for record-breaking sales, and some have already sold at auction for over $100,000. With speculation that the most extreme specimens, those with multiple confirmed errors, high grades, and unique provenance, could be worth as much as $25 million based on rarity, demand, and historical importance. And every year that passes makes these coins rarer, as more are lost, damaged, or degraded through handling and exposure, reducing the surviving population and increasing the urgency for collectors to locate and preserve remaining specimens. And if you're wondering how to tell if your 1988 penny might be worth a fortune, start by checking for visual abnormalities such as doubling, off-centering, missing initials, reverse design inconsistencies, strange coloration, or unusual weight. And if any of these are present, have the coin professionally weighed, examined under magnification, and submitted to a reputable coin grading service for authentication. Because even coins that look worn or imperfect might be housing rare errors under the surface, and the value of such discoveries can be absolutely life-changing. And that's why we always say, never ignore your pocket change, never dismiss an old coin without a closer look, because you could be holding one of the rarest, most valuable pieces of modern American currency ever created, a 1988 penny so rich in mistakes that it becomes a masterpiece of error, a $25 million monument to imperfection. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in numismatic history, and want to stay up to date on the rarest coins, hidden treasures, and valuable surprises that could be lurking in your very own home, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single opportunity to learn about the coins that could change your life forever.